Hello, Tamira here. I'm very excited. A lot has changed, right? A lot has changed. And today what we're going to talk about is how to protect. We've already been talking about protecting your income. And now we're going to talk about like stabilizing your income and coming up with ways to have predictable income, right? Because one of the biggest concerns that has come up post election is the fact that we could be looking at some serious inflation because of these proposed tariffs and things like that, and people are already dealing with the aftermath of that. Okay, and so with that being said, if it is costing people so much more money to buy the things that they normally buy, and we are already all kind of strapped for that, it's going to be really important that you have, as a solopreneur, as a business owner, income that you can count on each and every month, right? Because, the feast or famine can end up being a lot of famine for a lot of people if we don't do that. It's important to have this monthly recurring revenue, because if you don't, and the job market is already very competitive and very tight, we are going to be looking at, and I'm not a fearmongerer, okay? I am not a fearmongerer, but if we don't understand cash flow and how to generate cash flow, because it's really ultimately what this is about. Monthly recurring revenue is another way of saying cash flowing your business, right? Because when you look at it from an accounting standpoint, cash flow is how much money is flowing through your business each month, and it's either positive or negative. So, I always say your home budget is no different than a business budget. If you are spending more than you have coming in, then you have a deficit, and by definition, that's kind of like being bankrupt. I mean, it is, right? And so how do you put yourself in a position to have more coming in than going out, right? We know that you can't save your way out of this. We know that cutting back on your Starbucks, it will help, but it's not going to solve everything. You are going to have to generate more revenue. You're going to have to create more streams of income to make it through this. And again, I am not fear-mongering. This should excite you. This should empower you. This should embolden you to do the things that you know you need to do, but have been holding back on. If you are new here, my name is Tamira Hamilton. I am a certified digital marketing strategist with over 30 years of sales, marketing, and leadership experience. I have worked with and for some of the biggest names and brands that are out there in my 30+ year career, of which the last 10 has been in the digital marketing, online internet marketing space. I have built multiple businesses, including beauty businesses, including my own coaching and courses, to multiple six-figure businesses, and I have been teaching other people to also do the same. So if you are new here, say hello, let me know where you are watching from. Would love to shout you out. Come on in, say hello, let me know where you're watching from, and I will gladly shout you out. Always looking to expand the community, because one of the things that goes along with building a monthly recurring income is the fact that you need to build community, because you basically need community in order to build that monthly recurring income. Okay, so if you are finding any value in this at any point, please be sure to hit that share button, and also don't forget to double tap those hearts, right? That is how I know what I'm speaking of is really hitting in all the right spots for you. Okay, let me know how much you would like to have coming in additional on a monthly basis. Okay, what is an amount that you would like to have additional coming in on a monthly basis? Because I know for a lot of people, something as small as $500 a month could be really making a difference in your life. For other people, it could be $1,000, it could be $2,000, it could be whatever amount None of what I'm saying is going to be guaranteed, but the best thing to do is get yourself set up with some sort of monthly recurring income. That way you know what is coming in and you can better anticipate your monthly expenditure and better manage your money as a coach, as a speaker, as a solopreneur. Okay, it's all about scaling and creating predictable income when you use a monthly recurring revenue model, right? It's like you can go to sleep every night knowing that it's almost like the next best thing to a job, right? Because you know that so much is going to be coming in. Now you'll also need to know other numbers that we will talk about, like, you know, what's your attrition, because not everybody who is signed up is going to stay in your monthly recurring revenue program, and it doesn't happen overnight. It does take some building to create this monthly revenue stream, okay? So I'm going to share some insights, and I'm also going to share with you how something like DBA can help you with creating that monthly recurring income, okay? So I have been in digital marketing for over 10 years. I started out with selling other people's products, right? And I was fine with that. Other people were coming to me because they saw my marketing and saw the success that I was having, and they wanted to learn how I was doing it. And that is how I accidentally became a coach. Now, I will tell you, in 2009, when I first really started getting into social media, because hello, by the way, I was perfectly fine being over on LinkedIn. I was completely fine being over on LinkedIn. FB was, I was like, my kids are on FB. I don't know that that's where I'm supposed to be. That's where kids are. Thinking it was kind of like a MySpace, right? And so I finally got on there, and I really, you know, my marketing mind really went to work and could understand that they were collecting data and what the potential was for them to use that data. So I always knew at some point I would be using Facebook to generate income, whether it be to teach it to people, whether it be as a marketer. I knew at some point that was going to happen for me, right? I didn't know how, but I knew it would. But when I first became a marketer online, I was not really even thinking about being a coach. Now, I had a very strong leadership background of over 20 years. At the time, had literally taken people from about to be fired to sales monsters, and very good at what they do, getting promoted, becoming, getting into the lending space, getting into other spaces. So I knew I had a lot of success. And so coaching was nothing that was new to me. And it was natural for people. People have always seen me as a resource and come to me for help. So that is how I accidentally became a coach. And the way coaching can help you create monthly revenue, okay? It certainly can, because you can have clients on payment plans. You can have clients that pay quarterly, pay monthly, pay every so many weeks. You can also have membership programs. I have done both, okay? And so through my journey with coaching and courses are great. Don't get me wrong. Courses are awesome. The challenge with courses is you have to constantly be selling. You've got to constantly be getting new people in every single month, and that is how you generate your revenue. So I always like to have my clients first, and then I promote courses on the back end. A lot of times my high-end clients get my course included with their coaching, and then they get their one-on-one time with me, okay? So courses ends up being something that's like my extra income, because my bread and butter is my clients, okay? And by having clients, that is your predictable, regular, steady income, especially when you start to do membership programs. But it also can be very time consuming. And let's face it, we all live in a world where in 2025, everyone has read the 48 Laws of Power, and they know law number 7, to get others to do the work for you and always take the credit. That is what everybody wants to do. Everybody wants to be the boss. Nobody wants to be the worker bee. Everybody wants to be the queen bee. Nobody wants to be the worker bee, okay? Now, the good thing about that is we are also living in a time of AI. Let me know in the comments if you've used AI at all, and even how you've used it. Because AI can be your worker bee to an extent in a lot of cases, okay? I have increased my productivity, I don't know how much, in the last 2 years using AI. Now, you will hear people poo-poo AI and poo-poo ChatGPT, but I will say, when you know your craft, when you know your subject matter, AI is a great assistant. If you don't know your subject matter, if you don't know your craft, and you're trying to use AI to appear as if you do, that is where people tend to run into trouble. For example, copywriting. If you are really good at copywriting and you begin to use AI to help you to supplement your copywriting, that is awesome. If you don't know copywriting and you just go into ChatGPT and you put in what you want and you copy and paste what it gives you on the first time, everybody's going to know that you use ChatGPT, because there are words that we all know that ChatGPT loves and over relies on, and they output every single chance that they get. Okay, so AI is a great way to get others to do the work for you, having it be AI, just like businesses are using AI and it is taking some people's lower skilled jobs. You now can use AI to do the same thing for you in your business to save you time. Because here's the thing, if you've ever seen Robert Kiyosaki's chart about the quadrant between the small business owner, the entrepreneur, and all of that. Now, too many of us are calling ourselves entrepreneurs, and quite frankly, we're not really entrepreneurs, right? We're like the small mom and pop shops of like the early 1900s, mid-century, right? And that's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. There's absolutely nothing wrong with that. But at the end of the day, nobody wants to trade their job for becoming enslaved to their business. And that is why it is important to have AI, to have automation in place so that you do not have to become enslaved to your job. You also have control over your pricing. And so when you have control over your pricing, as you get more and more results for your clients, you can increase your price, and that will also allow you to work with fewer people. Because if you want to make more money, if you're at a certain price point, you have 2 ways to make more money. Either up your price and really up your value, or up the number of people that you're working with. And that is why it's really this mix, right, of one-to-one, one-to-many, and then one-to-many, right? So let me break that down for you. So one-to-one is your coaching programs. And that is where you are either doing it for them or doing it with them, right? So really, coaching, it doesn't even cover you doing it for them. That is just straight up client work. And that is going to be at a premium because you're taking the opportunity costs away from me being with my family, okay? From me working on my own business. Same with if I do it with you, that is going to be at a premium, right? And then there is, I will show you how to do it. And that is with courses. That is also with group coaching, which my courses tend to be a mix of the two, where it has a community behind it. And you don't get to be in my inbox asking me all kinds of questions. You don't get to have one-on-one Zooms with me. You don't get to have me doing the work for you or with you. You get very limited access to me by way of the community that backs up the course, because I do believe in that. And so if somebody's asking me a question, I direct them to ask it in the community so that I can then answer it in the community. Also office hours, right? So if you can't show up for office hours, drop all your questions so that I can record it for office hours and you have access to it, right? So a lot of people get confused, right? So your content is a great lead magnet. The problem with saying, though, however, you don't need a lead magnet is that when you don't have a way to collect a person's name and contact information to be able to follow up with them, now you've got a problem, okay? You need to be able to connect with them offline. You need to be able to email them or text message them with respect for their time, of course, outside of the platform, because you do not own the social media platform. And I will stand 10 toes, claws in the ground on that. Okay, you need to be building your email list. You need to be building your SMS text message list. And it is more important now than ever. It is not optional. It is great to have an email list that is built of buyers only. It's great because you know these are people who are going to buy. However, they're not going to buy everything and every time. They're still going to buy when they need to buy. So you need to constantly, and then there are going to be people who get sick of you, people who unsubscribe for whatever reason. That should be a small percentage, but it is going to happen. It's natural. It's a part of it, right? And so you need to constantly be bringing new people in by lead magnets, right? There is nothing wrong with capturing that data from the person who just got introduced to you, because most people are not going to make a buying decision that exact same day. Even with your low ticket items, most people are not coming across your content one time and buying, right? Especially if you are new. People who are more experienced like myself and many of my peers and people that I am in community with can do it. But other people cannot. If you are brand new to digital marketing, you are not. Is that Wanza I'm seeing? You are not going to be able to merely just go live and talk and people are buying from you. A lot of times when you see that happening on someone's live, it's because that person has been on multiple lives in the comments, or and not even just that one person's. They've been in multiple people's lives and they've heard it and heard it and heard it, and they've been interested and they've been doing research and they've been checking things out, and now they're finally ready to buy. Most people in 2025 are not just buying a digital product on a complete whim. They are gonna know a little something about you. They have to have a certain know, like, and trust factor, because there are so many, not so many, I don't want to make it sound like there's a lot, but there is the potential that, you know, hey girl, hey, that they could, you know, end up paying money and not actually even dealing with a human or getting what they paid for. And so that is why people like to know, and that is why live video is an income producing activity, because it gives people the ability to see you, to hear you, to see that I am a hand talker, right? I don't know ASL, but I use my hands when I talk, right? And so by doing that, you're building that know, like, and trust. So live video, the one-on-one on Zoom, is going to be where your highest close ratio is, okay? So when we talk about building your monthly recurring income, one of the places most people are going to start is digital products, right? And so digital products, if you want that to be something that is monthly and recurring, predictable and scalable, like I said, you've got a couple options. You got to know how many people you got to sell on a monthly basis, on a weekly basis, on a daily basis, on an hourly basis. And that means you got to show up. You got to show up, right? Especially if you are not that great at email marketing yet. Especially if you are not that great at content marketing yet. Your most sales are going to come from you actually going live. And that is great, because that is one of the easiest ways for you to get really good at selling, and it's going to help with your copywriting. It's going to help with writing your captions and scripting out your videos when you get really good at selling online and in conversation with your community. That's why I keep asking, if you are feeling this, drop a heart. If you are, if you say how much you want to make on a monthly basis. By the way, if you are not following me, make sure you click up there and you hit that follow button, okay? Because if you are going live, that's going to be the best way for you to sell. But that means you got to show up a lot. That's why you see a lot of people going live 2, 3, 4, 5 times a day, early Sunday morning, early Saturday morning, 5, 6 days a week. Okay, it doesn't mean that they're desperate, right? I mean, if they're no more desperate than somebody who's getting up and going to a job every day. So we can't get to calling people, because I've heard people even talk about Beyonce like that way. It's giving desperate. It's giving money grab. Like, okay, it ain't no different than what you're doing though. It is what it is. It do what it do. Okay, so DBA is a great program to help you create digital products. In fact, you don't even have to create the digital products, because it gives you a vault of digital products that you can sell. Okay, and so you can go live and really get comfortable selling and really get to build up your community, because that is the first step of creating monthly recurring income. Is you need a community. You need community, right? If you have never sold anything online, if you have never monetized yourself, you're going to be hard pressed to go out and sell people on giving you money monthly. Number one, because of all the internal stuff you have to go through in order to be able to do that. And so by partnering with and acquiring DBA and really learning the digital marketing skills that are in there, you're going to become more confident, and you will be able to begin to generate revenue, sales. But along the way, as you are going live, you are building community. Because remember, I said going live is an income producing activity, right? And so when you're going live, there are people who show up in your lives regularly. Now, this isn't a time that I normally go live, but there are people, when you go live regularly on the same day of the week, at the same time of day, there are people who show up. There are people show up. Wanza is a member of my community. Wanza is here, right? So as you do that, you begin to build community. People begin to feel like they know you. They begin to hear your story. They begin to feel like they can trust you, right? Because remember, it only takes, on average, 1,000 fans. 1,000 fans that will spend $100 with you a year, and that is 6 figures, okay? 1,000 fans, that's a theory. You can Google that, you can look it up. 1,000 fans, people who are buying because it is you, okay? People who are buying because it is you. So you need community. That 1,000 fans is your community, and going live is a great way to build your community, and DBA is a way to monetize while you are building that community. Am I making sense? Because I know sometimes I get to talking, and I just kind of like be. So let me know if I'm making sense in the comments. You build your community by going live, right? And then while you're building that community, you can still be making money and learning. So you can learn and earn with DBA while you are going live, because you are going to need to go live. I've not monetized anything at scale without having some live video strategy. It just has not happened. Now, there are people who it might have, but those people typically, I'm gonna be completely straight up with you, and this was like 2015, so it's more now, they were paying copywriters $20,000 just for like for sales pages and landing pages. So if you have $20,000 or more to do that, more power to you, right? Some of the greats that I know, you're talking at Facebook advertising budget, $300,000, $500,000, $500,000 a year that they spend on ads. And that's not all conversion based. A lot of that is brand awareness. A lot of that is, getting the leads so that they can follow up with them and build that know, like, and trust and remember. Okay, so you get to choose, right? The way I learned digital marketing is it's going to cost you either way. You're either going to spend with your money or you're going to spend your time. And that is why you hear people like myself say free is the most expensive way to build a business. Because it's not free, right? That's Econ 101. There's no such thing as a free lunch. If you're picking up what I'm throwing down, double tap that screen and throw up some hearts, because there is no such thing as a free lunch. You are either going to pay with your time, You're either going to pay with your influence, you're going to pay with your treasure, your money, or you are going to pay with your attention. Right? It's like I say, these social apps are not free. You're paying for the social apps by way of your eyeballs. Every time you stop your scroll, you're paying a toll. Because that is what the platforms are doing. They are monetizing your attention by way of advertisements, as really, proper people say. I've never said advertisement in my 32 years of sales, marketing, and leadership experience, okay? Because, oh my God, I can really go off in a lot of directions here. But advertising is a function of marketing. Marketing is not a function of advertising. Because, there are people who say weird things like advertising is paid for and marketing is free. Like, no, that's not true. That's not true at all. Public relations, all that falls under marketing. All of it falls under marketing. Marketing comes first, okay? So, if you think that it's going to be free, just know you're going to be spending a lot of your time. And if you are a working mom, if you are a working woman, you're already short on time. You are already short on time, okay? And it's the same thing with, let me get over here. It's the same thing with, oh, she's selling it and you can go watch it on YouTube for free. Good luck with that. That is going to be one of the most expensive ways to learn, okay? Because let me tell you, I put out great content on YouTube. The people that I follow put out great content on YouTube. But I can tell you that what you get on YouTube is nothing compared to what you get that is paid. And yes, you can get results from what some people put out on YouTube. But the majority of what you see on YouTube, a lot of it is outdated because things are moving at a really fast clip. A lot of it is outdated. It needs to be updated, and you could be the one to update it, right? And in a lot of cases, it's just really you picking through a lot of information, and you got to spend the time and watch it anyway. And when you pay someone like me for a course, like Wanza for a course, like Melissa for a course, what happens, because she's here too, what happens is we're giving you the shortcut. We're giving you the things that are updated from the time you saw that free video. We're giving you the latest and the greatest. We're giving you where there were gaps, where things have evolved and changed, right? We're giving you frameworks. We're simplifying steps. We're giving you what we have found works. We are basically the cheat code. We are the cheat code. Now, it's kind of like parenting, and like parenting, you want to help your kids not have to make some of the same mistakes that you've made. Well, in a lot of cases, you're cheating them. They need to make those mistakes so they learn on their own. But outside of that, you're giving frameworks. Like if you want this result, take this step, this step, this step, this step, and in this order, and this is what you should be able to expect. Now, with that being said, everybody's results are going to be different based on their time, their talent, their treasure, how much money you've got to throw at it, what your network is like, what your level of influence is. Everybody's results are going to be different. Any coach, any program that is guaranteeing you that you will be able to make a certain amount of money in a certain period of time, I would be very leery of that, because there's just no way to guarantee that. When the last I heard, most businesses fail within 2 years, like half fail within 2 years, and even more than that within the first 5 years. So you have to keep that in mind. It is a business. There is some risk involved. But when you live in a time, Awanza knows what I'm going to say. When you live in a time when you can take free apps, the information, your life experiences, your professional experiences, and document them, codify them, that's creating your own framework from them, and have very little overhead and make a lot of profit margin, it's well worth the risk. It is well worth the risk. When in 2025, we currently, I don't know for how much longer, we have pretty much the same phone in our hand that the billionaires have, and have access to a lot of the same softwares and technologies that they have. I mean, the things you see people able to monetize and the amounts they are able to make online without a college education is pretty incredible. And why you want to still learn and go through courses is because some of us actually have the college education to be able to tell you, yeah, that's a compliance issue. Just because you see them doing it doesn't mean that you should, because what you might not be aware of is the letter that the FTC is drawing up and sending to them right now. And on that, I gotta fan myself. I see I'm starting to glow on the screen. Okay? So, and it's not that being a college education is everything, but I believe when you can combine that college education, you can combine that work experience along with that, you can combine that with whatever other experience that you have a very monetizable project or whatever it is you want to put together, whether it be like Wanza helps authors with their books. It can be your own book, okay? It can be a course. It could be an ebook. It can start as a simple ebook, right? And it doesn't have to be high ticket. In fact, I don't recommend that your first product be high ticket. Now, the exception to that, I would say, is if you are going to go into coaching. Like I was in management for years. So coaching was very natural for me. I didn't need to go to anybody's course or anything to know how to coach. I learned how to do that on the job. And I had over 20 years of experience of leading people and developing people. Like I literally wrote development plans. This is what you need to learn in your first week. This is what we're going to teach you in your first week. Like I was the person who wrote those, and I was never in HR, but I wrote those, okay? For several positions. I wrote training manuals. I also wrote marketing guides and things like that. So this was a very natural segue for me, right? And so I always tell people, you don't want to start with your passion. Start with what you know so that you can get quick returns, okay? So that you can get in the black as quickly as possible, get in the green as quickly as possible, and then begin to create the funds to fund whatever it is you are passionate about. Am I making sense? Throw up a 2 in the comments if you're picking up what I'm throwing down while I fan myself. I got windows open. The heat is on. The heat kicks on automatically in my place once it gets like below 48 degrees, I think. And it is on, and I'm 50. So I got a fan on, and I got 2 windows open, and I'm also sitting here fanning myself. But I'm also under 2 lights. I'm under 2 lights, okay? So you want to be able to learn and earn while you are building that community, okay? A lot of people get stuck in community building phase. They just want to build community and they don't really monetize it. And some people just want to go straight to monetizing, and all they do is put themselves on this gerbil wheel where they are continually selling. And that can burn you out. That can burn you out, right? One of the things in my corporate careers, I would see people who were really good at sales of financial instruments and products, they would want to go into management even though they didn't want to manage or lead people. But they would do that because they got tired of starting at 0 every month. And that is the beauty of monthly recurring income. And that's what happened when you went into management. You got a higher base income. You still were working for a bonus. You were still working for, you know, incentives, but you got a higher base income. And that's kind of like your monthly recurring income, right? So there wasn't so much woo, ooh, woo, oh, right? And so it was a lot more stabilized and definitely predictable. And so what you would see is people got into management who really didn't have a passion for people, who really didn't have a passion for leadership, but it was about the income, okay? So your monthly recurring income is going to help you with that predictability and stability, which you are going to need, okay? And for several factors that we've already discussed. So DBA is your stop. It is your program to have those digital products that you can begin to learn and create. You can even take done for you products and brand them as your own. And then you also will be learning things like how to launch, If you're going to have a monthly recurring revenue program, you're going to need to know how to launch it. You're going to need a launch strategy, right? You're going to need to know the basics of digital marketing. You're definitely going to want to know automations. You're definitely going to want to know email marketing. You're going to want to know video editing, okay? You'll probably want to get the script, the live script that a lot of people are using and making sales with on their lives, right? It's very easy to make sales on your lives, depending on the content that you've been putting out and the people you've been attracting to your content. But the community building actually comes from going live, right? Like, the content is a great way to attract people, and some will follow you, but they will. The way the Clock app works in particular, you don't have to follow somebody. As long as you keep engaging with and watching their content, they're going to keep showing up on your FYP, right? They will keep showing up on your FYP, and then it will get mixed up depending on if you start interacting with different types of content. It's going to constantly be trying to put content in front of you that is going to keep you on their app. And so your content is going to pull people in and attract them. So your content needs to not just be entertaining or trendy. You need to also have content that uses sales psychology, and you'll learn that sales psychology by going live, and also from email marketing. It will make the sales psychology of your content that much easier once you learn it in those other two respects. And so DBA is a great place inside of volume 1 to learn those basics that are going to give you the foundation to create and sustain that monthly recurring revenue. So if I'm making sense, just let me know in the comments. DBA volume 3 is $444. You can get it on a payment plan with Klarna or Afterpay, which breaks it down to $111 every 2 weeks. I think you can even make it monthly at that price point, where it's $111 a month for 4 months. And the great thing is you can become an affiliate of DBA3, and when you do that, you get 85% commission. Okay, so you can sell it a couple times and it pays for itself, and it's something that you can monetize your community building efforts with online. And here's the beautiful thing. Okay, we're going to move into the next segment, because this is literally, and I've told this story before, of how I freed myself from a job that I hated. Okay, and it was by going live on Periscope. Wanza will remember the Periscope days. That's where I met my good buddy Keisha Bass, now Keisha LaShawn. We were in a lot of the same lives, and we were talking, and I said something to her like, meet me over on the Twitter inbox, back when it was Twitter, right? And so, that's how, and she actually bought my first course. And how I launched that first course was I was going live on Periscope and building my community. And I had a content strategy for my lives. Like, none of my lives are accident. They're not just, well, for me, I can get on live and go ad hoc because I can do it in my sleep. In fact, I think I was dreaming about it over the weekend, right? I can just go live and run, and boom, 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 right? I can go live and talk about one product and end up selling a bunch of another product, just because I know how to read the room and I know how to help and serve people, right? And so I took it to my audience, to my community, and said, okay, based on the questions that I keep getting from you guys, I'm thinking about creating this program. And here's what I think. What would you want to see in there? What would you find beneficial? And so I got their feedback and kept getting their feedback, right? And so then I created it, and then I did a webinar that Saturday, which this July, because I marked it on my page. I think it's been 9 years since I did. Yeah, it has been 9 years since that webinar. It was like July 18th, 2015. And I gave value, made the case, and sold it. I did not intend on leaving that job for several months, if even then. But they started talking crazy to me, and let me tell you, when you make more in an hour on a Saturday than you make on a job, because this was a job where I purposely chose to be underemployed, and there's really no such thing as being underemployed. They're still going to want to work you like you're crazy. because remember, that's the name of the game, to get others to do the work and you always take the credit for it. That's capitalism by definition, right? And so here I'm thinking, oh, I'm going to take a job that's lower skilled, so I have time to and brain effort and heart effort to build my business. And no, they still want to, work you until you're exhausted. And it's worse because now you're doing it for less money, right? And so when you make more in a webinar and then in just follow-up messages, follow-up emails, follow-up phone calls from that, they can't talk to you any kind of way. You know what I'm saying? It's like I always tell people, I make money in my sleep. I've got lead magnets, I've got automations, and I make money in my sleep. You can't just talk to me any kind of way. Wanza and I have talked about this. If you don't have your monthly revenue recurring coming, or it dips, you can sometimes feel like, oh, maybe I should go get a job. But then when you think about what they pay for a job, that might be one client. That might be one course, right? That might be one Pin Profits Mastery. That might be one content bundle. That might be one DBA, right? So you begin to think differently once you really understand how to literally create nothing, make something from nothing, which is what I say DBA Volume 1 teaches you. It teaches you literally how to be scrappy and come up with something. Because my first course cost me nothing. It cost me nothing. I used Periscope and went live, which was free. I had to pay for my Wi-Fi. I had to pay my phone bill, but I had to pay those anyway. Right? I used FB for the community in a group. I used Google Hangouts, which is now basically YouTube Live, to go live and lead the course for every week for 4 weeks on Mondays. So it cost me nothing to create the course. So do you understand what I say when I say there is no better time than now? There's absolutely no better time than now. No time in history where in a short period of time you can go from zero to multiple thousands of dollars. I don't want to put in a number out there because I don't want people saying I'm making income claims. I'm talking about the possibility, because you have to do the work. You have to show up. You have to deliver. You have to deliver. Okay, it doesn't cost you much. Now, I didn't need a DBA in order to be able to do that because I had over 20 years of sales, marketing, and leadership experience that I could rely on, right? So if you want to monetize your underwater basket weaving, but you know nothing about sales and marketing, you need DBA. It doesn't mean that you're going to go live and build your community around marketing. You're going to go live around underwater basket weaving and use what you're learning and apply it to you being live and to monetizing underwater basket weaving. It's as simple as that. And then you build that community, and then you're creating content which DBA is going to teach you. And by the way, they have a vault of over 50,000 pieces of content that are done for you and ready for you to be able to customize and brand as your own for whatever niche you are in. It doesn't get any better than that. It doesn't. Because here is the thing. We already talked about this. I get it. I was a single mom, 2 girls. My job was working me to the point I was about to have a nervous breakdown. Stressed to the hilt, working 6 days a week, 50 hours, got up to like 60 hours one week, probably close to 70 another, but on average 45 to 50 hours a week, and at the worst 50 to 55 hours a week. There's not a lot of time You have to find something where if you have to go live, that's fine. You go live in the pockets of your life, but you have your automation up because your automation is going to be your 24/7, 365 storefront, and DBA is going to teach you how to do that. Okay, y'all should be double tapping that screen, hitting them hearts, because I'm giving you tremendous value, right? Making money in your sleep is not an accident. It is an intentional act. I remember the first time I said that once, I got a little excited, right? You don't make money in your sleep by accident. You have to first set the intention that you want to make money in your sleep, and then you have to have the system and a high converting offer and traffic. It's that simple. It's not easy, but it's that simple. Okay? A high converting offer and traffic, and you need to have it automated and have set the intention, and that is how you make money in your sleep. And the more people you can touch, the more people you can interact with to get to your content, to get in front of, the more opportunities you have for conversion. That is your traffic. Your traffic is going to come by way of views on your video, by people actually staying in your live video and hearing what it is that you have to say. You can drive traffic from your email list. That's why it's important to not just say, oh, my content is the lead magnet. Because all it takes is an algorithm change, and the algorithm is always changing. And that's part of how I say you are the algorithm, is because you've built your email list and you can drive traffic to your content from your email list. I don't do it every day, but at least once a week I like to send out something saying, hey, here's a new piece of content. Some good, valuable content that, is worth a little something. And people feel grateful for being able to get and hear that information, whether it be news jacking or any of that stuff I taught in that free email masterclass I did this summer. So if you're not following me, you definitely want to make sure you are following me, because you never know when I might drop a free masterclass. Sometimes it's spontaneous. I just get out here and can't shut up. Okay. So DBA is only $444. That is $111 spread across 4 payments, and with DBA 3, you actually do get the ability to sell it as an affiliate and get an 85% commission. Okay, you get it as an 85% commission, because affiliate marketing is definitely part of my bag of tricks. Okay, affiliate marketing is definitely a part of my bag of tricks. The thing with affiliate marketing that a lot of people lose sight of is affiliate marketing, you don't get paid on that immediately. Affiliate marketing, you usually don't get paid for until 45, 60, 90 days later. Okay, so it takes a while before that can become predictable for you. And I don't know that it ever is really truly predictable. Okay, but you still need to build. The best affiliate marketers have community. It all begins and ends with building community. You have to build community. Okay, and so this really, I guess, is a lesson in building community, because when you have that community, that is where the sales come from. And it's not just the same people buying from you over and over again. It's getting people to the point that they feel seen, heard, and acknowledged, and that is where like, know, and trust come from. That was good. That was good. That was good, right? People have to feel seen, heard, and acknowledged in order to have like, know, and trust. That is so good. I've never said it that way. That's good though. And it's the truth. It is the absolute truth. And that comes from you showing up. That is from Zooms. That is from live video. That is from email. That is from one-on-one messages. Responding to and engaging with those who engage with you on your content. That is where that comes from. right? Your content, you want to be intentional when you create your content. Your content needs to have a specific ideal client in mind, okay? So like one of the things that drives me crazy with some coaches and that is they constantly talk about, I'm gonna need you to. No, people are not going to do what you need them to do because you told them you need them to do it. Some will because, you know, there's different personality types, but by and large, you're gonna make a bigger impact when you tell someone what's in it for them, right? Because I know if you tell me what you're gonna need me to, first of all, who you talking to? You ain't my mama. Who you talking to? I don't care what you need me to do. I'm doing what I want to do. I'm doing what I need to do. And what you need me to do does not take priority over what I need me to do, right? Now, I might be an extreme case, but the reality is people tune into WIIFM. What's in it for me? Okay, what's in it for me? And you have to be able to learn to speak that language. And when you know who your ideal client is, when you know who it is that you serve, you can then use that sales psychology in your content, right? Because you're going to attract them with your content and you will convert some through your content. Live is content too, right? Live is content too. Okay. I actually need to go handle something really quickly, but I may come back a little bit later and chat with you all.